All right, guys, we're going to do a bit of a special report here. Something just broke, and I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to be a situation. ICE was just involved in a shooting. One woman is dead. There was a vehicle involved in a protest. There was accusations of terrorist activity. There was accusations of murdering on the ICE side. Buckle up, the footage is leaked, and I'm going to show it all to you right now. Everything will be linked in the description box below. Of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Guys, we're going to dive into this one, but this one's probably going to be a spicy one. Like I said, this is a special report, so it's not a normal time for me. But I wanted to bring this to you because there's going to be a lot of stuff on this one. The left is going to flashpoint on this one for sure. Let me show you what's going on. CBS News, a person has died after being shot by an ICE agent in Minneapolis. Again, I've got the footage for you I'm about to show you. So, this doesn't show you nothing like violent or visceral, nothing gross or, what's the best word? Disturbing. That's probably the best word I'll say. But this is the individual that was blocking the road for the ICE. And I'm just going to show you the footage. I got two different footage angles, and I'm going to show you some other things, the way it's being covered. The left is going to make this a flashpoint 1000%. I don't want anyone to die. I'm not suggesting that. I'm going to show you what's going on. Check this out. Here's the actual first angle. The red car is the one, or the maroon car is the one you want to see. And the woman right there in the toboggan and the blue and green plaid, this is in Minnesota. She is holding a phone in the face of an ICE agent, okay? That ICE agent is important. Watch.
Get the fuck out of our neighborhood! Out of car! Out of car! Get out of the fucking car! No! No! Oh my fucking God!
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Dude, what the fuck?
All right, so the first things I'm just going to kind of objectively state, and the things that I can see there were commands to get out of the car. I got another angle coming to you in a second. There were commands to come out of the car. The woman did not get out of the car at the command of the ICE agents. She was actively blocking the road, and then she accelerated her car away at the ignoring of those commands towards another ICE agent. Again, I don't want anyone to die. I'm not saying this is a good thing that she died. I'm not. But when you are actively taking part in a protest to block ICE agents on a public thoroughfare as part of an activist regime, and then when the ICE agents walk up to get you out of the way, you ignore the commands and then you accelerate a vehicle directly at another ICE agent after you've already used that vehicle in a protest against the ICE agents, and they interpret that as an actual weapon being driven at them, they fired, and the DHS stance is it was self-defense. You guys can tell me what you think in the comments. I got another angle for you. Again, this one, the left is jumping on this one already, pretty hard. And it's going to be Gestapo, ICE agents, you know the whole thing. This is another angle, okay? This angle, the maroon vehicle is on the right of the shot. You're going to see what happens, and pay attention because you can actually see the ICE agent that fired the shots a lot more clearly, and you can see he is directly in front of the vehicle as she accelerates. Watch this. All right, so you can see very clearly that ICE agent did have to sidestep out of the way of that vehicle as it was accelerating. She was ignoring commands to get out of the vehicle. She went back. She started fleeing. She went towards another individual. That ICE agent was in front, and he discharged his weapon. That's what happened, okay? Now I'm going to show you some things that are happening right now, including the protesters that are now gathering, and a little bit of pepper spray and some crowd control measures have had to take place because, quite literally, you are watching protesters grab the ARs of ICE agents. Watch this guy on the left. You're going to see him grab the guy's gun. Right there. See that? And he caught pepper spray right in the face. I'm going to rewind that really quickly. Watch his hands. He is on the firearm. You do not do that. Don't put your hands on the firearm, no matter how righteous you think your protest cause is. Because that's how very, very bad things happen. When you ignore commands, you put your hands on agents' guns, and then luckily, in this case, the guy only had a pepper spray gun in his hand. Thank God, because that could have gone much, much worse. Now, going back to this one, The woman was in a vehicle and she was protesting and they were commanding her to get out. She didn't, started fleeing directly at an ICE agent, interpreting it as an attack, which has happened, and he discharged his weapon. Let's keep on going. I'm going to show you some other things here. This is the scene on the ground. I'm going to turn the audio off because you don't need to hear the screaming. But you can see they are all throwing snowballs. They're all being very pissed. They're being very angry. I'm going to tie all of this together because the people involved were connected. There was a lesbian couple that was married. One of the women there with the camera that I pointed out with the blue plaid, that was apparently the woman who died in the vehicle. That was the woman's wife. Okay, and you're going to see that in a second. But again, you're looking at actively, they've got the gas mask on, they've got all the fixins of the protesters. Okay, that's what you've seen. You're seeing it again. We saw it in Los Angeles earlier this year. You're seeing it in Minnesota. They're catching pepper spray right in the face because they're blocking vehicles again. They're doing the exact same behavior that the woman who just got shot did, and they're doing it again right there. Now they're throwing snowballs and doing all sorts of stuff. Okay. You have to understand what's happening right now in Minnesota. Now, let me tie this together a little bit because I'm trying to piece all these things together as we go forward. The Fox News angle, I will come back to that because I want to show you something else first. This is just the angle and I want to show you the framing that the left is doing because Brian Krasenstein is a far left account. It appears that ICE just shot a woman in the face as she was driving away from them in Minneapolis. Okay, again, I'm not advocating for any type of violence. I don't want anyone to die. I'm going to turn the audio off, but I'm just going to replay this. Does this look like she was just driving away from them, or does this look like she was actively evading them and then ran right at an agent? Does that sound like the ICE agents just picked up a gun and shot her in the face because she was driving away from them? No, that's not an accurate representation, and he knows it, but that's okay. He's a lefty. Now, this is the DHS response. I'm just going to walk you through all of it. Today, ICE officers in Minneapolis were conducting targeted operations when rioters began blocking ICE officers, and one of these violent rioters weaponized her vehicle, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers in an attempt to kill them, an act of domestic terrorism. Again, I showed you the video. You can see, or you can deem for yourself if the intent was to kill, or if the intent was to flee, or the intent was to whatever they were doing. You can see it. An ICE officer, fearing for his life, the lives of his fellow law enforcement, and the safety of the public, fired defensive shots. He used his training and saved his own life and that of his fellow officers. The alleged perpetrator was hit and is deceased. The ICE officers who were hurt are expected to make full recoveries. This is a direct consequence of constant attacks and demonization of our officers by sanctuary politicians who fuel and encourage rampant assaults on our law enforcement. These men and women who are simply enforcing the law on the books are facing a 1,300% increase in assaults against them and 8,000% increase in death threats. This is an evolving situation, and we will give the public more information as soon as it becomes available. Well, the video is already leaked, okay? They're obviously saying this was a terrorist attack because the intent was to kill the officer. I cannot tell the level of intent. I can tell you she's ignoring commands. She's already taken place in a protest with her vehicle. They tell her to get out of the car. She reverses in an attempt to flee. She cuts it straight back. She goes towards the ICE agent. Whether the ICE agent was interpreting incorrectly or correctly, it went straight at him, and he had to sidestep as he discharged his weapon. That's what happened. Now, the DHS's angle is one thing. Of course, the left is going to make this into this whole thing, ICE is Gestapo, and they're trying to kill everybody. And then this piece, and again, this is going to develop. We know how this is going to go. This is so sick and sad. The woman's wife was right there. She was allegedly serving as a legal observer. F ICE. Okay, y'all, here's the thing. If you've got an individual, a couple, a lesbian couple who are out there protesting ICE. I don't care if they're a lesbian couple. I'm just saying it's a detail that's important here because he said the woman's wife. That's why I say that. If you're protesting ICE by blocking the road with your vehicle, if one of you gets out and has your camera in the face of agents and screaming at them, telling them to get out of your neighborhood and serving as the legal observer, you're very clearly taking part in an organized operation to disrupt any type of federal officer. When you're told to get out of the vehicle and then you decide to flee and ignore those orders and then go straight at another ICE agent, this is a very, very sad outcome of that action. I don't want this to happen to anybody. But don't put your vehicle in the front of somebody. Don't put your vehicle in protest operations against ICE. Don't ignore commands, and then don't accelerate and attempt to flee from orders and commands directly at another ICE agent that he has to dodge and discharge his weapon. I don't want any of that. If she had gotten out of the car, they wouldn't have discharged the weapon. If she hadn't been there, they wouldn't have done that. If there was no legal observer, they wouldn't have done that. Again, I don't want any type of this. I don't want anyone to die. But the fact is, this is a byproduct of a steady stream of mainstream media talking points that ICE is evil, ICE is the Gestapo, do anything you can, put your cameras in their face and resist. Well, don't do this, please. I don't want anyone to die. This is horrible. But you cannot look at that and go, I am completely shocked by that outcome. I don't want that to happen, but honestly, okay, let's keep on going, because that's how they're framing it. You know how this works. That's another video I got queued up. But bottom line, guys, this is going to pop off. You're going to see a lot more of this. There are full-length videos on it. There's lots of more stuff, and I'll try to gather as much as I can for you. But there's going to be protests, and there's going to be all sorts of Democrat talking points and anti-ICE talking points and Trump talking points. You know how this is going to go, but I'll keep you updated. Listen, I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm Braden. Later.